Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope everyone is doing well. It's good to see you all. What's tea, ladies? What are we doing on hump day? Are we humping? What's the tea? Thursday Empire said, I love you. Love you too, sis. Chanel, how are you, my love? Pretty Girl Patterns. Hello. Hey, Ever Evolving. Hey, I Am Wit. Hey, Boo Hey. Hey, Sabah. What's the tea, ladies? What are we up to? What are we giving? Miss Hankerson said, hello, handsome girl. Stop flirting right now. Someone said, I wish. He's about to come for us again, LOL. Clarissa, I don't come for anyone unless they come for me. Yes. Donnie said, hey, I wish I had lips like yours. Girl, buy them. You can buy anything now. Hey, Erica, Jada, Art, the Kathleen, Anna, True Love, Assured, Pamela, Chrissy, Mimi, J. Thomas, Tranquil, Stony, Ask the Dawn. Hello, my loves. What's the tea? What's really going on? C. Joy said, learning that I know nothing about dating. Here's the thing, ladies. Because many of us aren't taught how to date, I think like we have this expectation that we're supposed to just know how to do it, right? And the gag is that dating has changed so much, even in the last 5 years, that even people that knew how to date in 2015 don't know how to date now. Girl, I had to change my entire strategy in my program in the last 8 months because things have changed. So if you are shaming yourself, if you are, like shitting on yourself because like you feel like you don't know, girl, most people don't because it's always changing. Sorry about it. Someone said, please check your DM. I send you a big one. Oh, girl, what y'all need to know is that I don't really do DMs like that unless it is like if you have questions about programs and things like that, but I don't really do coaching. I come on here on live, and for those that don't know, my name is Anwar White. They call me Coach Anwar, and I am a dating coach for Black and Brown women. I have been doing this work for almost 15 years now, and I come on here, 1 to 2 times a week, and I'm here to just answer any and all of your questions as it pertains to love, dating, relationships, and men and or women. We're inclusive around here. Some of us had that moment, that phase in college. We don't talk about it, but we all know. Anyway, so here, what we do, you ask your questions in the chat, and I will answer them in the order that I see them. Now, don't get mad and don't get butthurt if I don't answer your question, because at some point I'm going to have more than 1,000 women up in here. So it's going to be hard for me to answer any and all of them. So please be patient. And if I haven't answered your question in 5 minutes, put it in there again. I'll get to it. Alrighty? Now, if there's anything that I say that that resonates with you, that you enjoy, that makes you kiki and giggle and gag, tap, double tap, triple tap the screen, show love, show hearts, so that I can, my ego can feel validated, because, I am a man, and that's what we need. We need our ego stroked. We need them validated so that, we can feel like we're self-actualized and we're the men that we're supposed to be. Oh my gosh, girl. Life in High Gear said, as a fellow coach, your insights are so solid. Thank you, girl. Appreciate that. Oh my gosh, some of these girls are, I'd say something about sex, and girl, y'all are, go to bed. Y'all are horned up, honey. Someone said giving in the bed, watching a dating coach rather than our dating. Mm-hmm. Girl. Okay, our host knows that we are BLing these men, LOL, and getting outside now that the weather is behaving. I know that's right. Jennifer said, happy to be with you all. Good evening, and more. Hey, yes. Do you have advice for bisexual women or queer dating? I sure do. What specific questions do you have? I will tell you this. If you are lesbian, queer, bi, an important thing that you will have to figure out is, are you in your dominant masculine energy or in your dominant feminine energy? This will affect all of your dating. It's the first thing that I do with all of my queer and lesbian and bisexual clients because it will establish what sort of energy you will bring to the dating game. Message from Moms at Amor. When are you coming back to the States? I'll be in Atlanta in about 2 weeks to visit my clients there and my fellow coaches. It's her way, said Amor. I met a guy 11 years younger than me. What to do? Sleep train him, girl. Change the diaper. Take him to preschool. What else should you do? So you know I'm waiting on some info. What info are you waiting for, Pyrus Solutions? Message from Mom said we should do a meet and greet or a live coaching session. I'm going to do that when I do my book tour. So I'll read excerpts and then after that we'll go to a club, girl. We'll get some numbers. Flirt with men. Ardell said, you didn't... So I just did a video about black hairstyles and the men that are checking for them. You said, what kind of guys do us women with low cut hair attract? So like my length. Well, one, the femme lesbians are into it. But two, I would check with the white and the European men. Okay? The black men won't be checking for you as much because they're like homophobic and they'll think it'll give if like you're not like if you're not giving a lot of face, it'll give a little bit boy. And they're so homophobic that they can't even get into it, even though they're so homo at the same time, girl, no shade. Anyway. All right, let me see what the girls are talking about. What are we giving today, honey? Someone said, Tierra said, sliding into his DMs, yes or no? I think we ease into it. So what does that look like? If you're talking to someone on social media, you first start liking some posts. Then you start commenting. And then what you want to do is reply to a story. So it's not like you're going straight into the DMs hardcore. You're replying to a story and then he gets to respond to that. And that's how you start the combo. Yeah? Okay. Vanessa said, Anwar, he's taking me on dates every week, every other week. I've known him for 3 months. Time to cut? No. Time to get exclusive, girl. Fortuna said, I'm still going to try to attract my healthy nerd, but I have curly hair. Girl, that's fine too. Here's what you need to do. Girl, put it in a bun. Girl, the men gag for the buns, girl, and make it messy. Don't give ballerina bun. Give messy bun, girl. Jazz said, had a great date last Wednesday. Said he likes me. Ghosts me till today and said someone got cancer response. Femme energy. I'm so sorry to hear that. Now we wait for him to plan a date before the week's over. And if he doesn't, he's out. Yeah? Kwana said, hey, I miss you. Miss you too, girl. 5-footer crew said, I've been watching your Q&As on YouTube all day. So just FYI, ladies, if you ever miss it or if it's ever past your bedtime, because I know how some of y'all girls are golden girls, girl, they're on my YouTube channel, Dating Coach Anwar, the day after. Okay? Perfectly Imperfect said, how can I be a client? So go to the link in my bio, book a consultation call, and we'll see if it's a fit. ultimately. I want to make sure that, um, that you're coachable and that I can help you. There are lots of women that want to be in the program, but it may not be a fit, and that's okay too. Bree said, should I try dating in college? Yes, girl, please do. Why? Because when you're in college, people are much more open-minded and will date a variety of different people. This is when you can start to date like Korean men, for example. Like, because when you graduate, girl, people just go to their respective circles for the most part and go into their own communities and isolate themselves. But when you're in this microcosm, you really get to engage in that mini world and start to talk to people and have more interesting conversations. So date everybody. The gag is most people in college, like they're so insular. Like most people will try to just date the, within the black club. Don't do that, girl. Date based on your, like, the activities that you're into. So if you're a volunteer girl or in a Christian group, date in there. I don't care if he's a Korean. I don't care if he's white. Date based on your specific values and clubs. Also, don't study in the library, girl. The library is a club. Study in the engineering and computer science building. Every place has one. That's where you study. Okay? The girls aren't going to tell you that. Because the other girls are going to try to make you get with a football player or an athlete. Don't do that, girl. No shade. But most of them aren't going to make it to the pros. And they're not even in class half the time. And they're not even doing all the work. All of those, like, organizations, they have, like, all of the tests from all of the professors, so they just cram the tests, but they don't really study. So they're not really learning anything. So many of them are not smart. Not all of them, but many of them, because they don't have to work because they're so focused on their sport. So that's that on that. Okay, let me see what you're talking about. Is it a red flag if he asks for a prenup first thing? First thing what? That is a personal decision. I work with women that have money, and so often the prenup is a safety for them as well. Black Lux Beauty said, just watched your Who Does Your Hair Attract video. Very funny. Thank you. Dahlia Simpson said, I love your content. Definitely my fairy godbrother. Thank you, girl. Had a guy who stopped communicating. I called him on it. He went more distant but wants to talk. What would you do? Well, first of all, I would never call a guy on that. Just be in observation mode for these men, honey. Why? Because guess what? You're going to call a guy out on it. Now, I don't know where you are in the courtship, but I'm just going to give you general advice. You're going to call a guy out, and then he's going to know, oh, okay, I can't do that. But that's not his natural way of being. Just because he knows, oh, I can't not talk to her for 2 or 3 days or whatever, he's going to, like, put on a great face for 2 to 3 weeks, and you're going to forget all about it. And then he's going to go back to his homeostasis, his natural way of being. And you're going to get all mad again. If this is how he wants to show up, our job is just to accept it. Okay. And just honor what you're feeling. That's not going to work for me. And peace out. Paula B said, OMG, my first time catching your live. Girl, welcome. Welcome. Cashing in that TikTok live V card, honey. Kiwana said, I was just listening to your podcast. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Amma said, how to be content in singleness. I love this question so much because here's what I know. Happy people get into healthy relationships, and happy people get married in healthy marriages, right? So if you're not happy, If you're not content, you will find yourself in unhappy relationships. So one of the things that's really important, and I think this is especially true for Black and brown women, is that you're going to need to find the little girl inside. For many of you, especially if you come from an immigrant household or you were the oldest daughter, you started having adult responsibilities when you were 12 years old. They had you clean in the house. They had you doing X, Y, and Z, potentially. And so part of being content is also accessing that little girl inside. So think to yourselves, what did I love to do between the ages of 8 and 12? And start doing that. I don't care if it was ballet class. I don't care if it was cheerleading. I don't care if it was playing dress up. Do it all, honey. Do it all. That's one thing. Number two, part of being content is learning how to be satisfied. We live in a world where we always want more, right? And so learning how to be content is learning when enough is enough. And everyone is going to have that. So for example, you need to know, how much money is enough for me? Right? How many friends is enough for me? Am I satisfied in this job, in this role, in this company, or do I have to try to go for the director role or the VP role or whatever level that you're in? Do I have to do that? Is that going to make me more content? So learning how to be satisfied is also really important. And then the other thing that I would say is make sure that your other relationships are good, and use those relationships as proxies to help you prepare for your romantic relationship. If you're the girl who's always calling your friends and always setting up different events and get-togethers, you probably have imbalanced friendships. So you're going to have imbalanced romantic relationships as well. So make sure that you can work on those relationships so that you feel like poured into and whole and cherished and nurtured. All very important. Okay? Beautiful flower, it said, love you, Amor. Thank you, girl. Appreciate that. Okay, I want us to thank you for all the great advice. You're welcome, girl. You're welcome. Piari said, best dating coach I have come across on this platform. Thank you. Christine said, love your content. Thank you. How long have I been on? Oh, girl, I don't know, 20 minutes or so? Courtney said, love watching your videos. I sent some to my mom, and now she watches your videos, too. Go on, Mom. Go on, Mama. Yeah. Pauline said, I'm stretching and listening, too. I know that's right, girl. Keep it limber. Limber. Vanessa said, okay, how can I know he's not just interested in someone to help with the bills? Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know what you mean when you say bills. We don't know anything about that in this live. But the way that you will know if a guy is interested in you just for your money is simply not giving him anything. No money, don't pay for dates, don't do favors for him, don't do anything. And those guys will find another supply, find another loan officer. Yeah? And don't feel guilty about that. I was having a mini conversation with a client earlier today, and I was letting her know, yeah, there are a lot of guys that won't like that. But those guys are not in the consideration set. The guys that we're looking for, which are fewer and further between, are guys that are in a provider mindset. Yeah? Okay, Girly Fine said, Anwar, how do I make it clap for him in a feminine way? We don't clap for men. We clap for ourselves. But, yeah, in dating, we don't clap for men. My recommendation. Why? Because if we're always clapping for men, he will always be in performance mode. Because he loves the applause. And if you're dating black men, I need you to know something. I need you to know that they are great pretenders. Yeah? And this is not me shitting on black men. This is me, and you know this too, because some of y'all pretend in life. Most black people don't really love white people. And so, especially black men, they feel emasculated by this white patriarchal society. And they pretend to like the system. And if they can do that all day, every day, it stands to reason that they can pretend in dating and courtship and relationships as well. And y'all know this. Am I lying? The amount of times that we have to smile in front of a white person's face, even though we disdain them. So please understand that they do that as well, because they're professionals at it. Just understand that. We all have to pretend. And I think black men, someone said, whoa, rude, you just lost me. Sorry, bye. Call me Where's Waldo, girl. Lost. Yellow said, you are being so real right now. Somebody has to. Yeah, we try to keep it real here. We try to say the things that people aren't talking about. So, something to consider and think about. And if, what was that movie with Denzel Washington and Viola Davis? The Fences, right? The character is all day, every day, working hard for pennies on the dollar, smiling all day to try to make nickels on the dollar. Do you understand how much rage is in a black man's body? And he keeps it fucking cute and mute all day? Just like for a black woman, it's the same thing. So, I just think it's like really important for you to consider this as you're dating, right? Yeah. Ali said, Anwar, do you also help Latinas? Yes, girl. That's why I say black and brown women. Yeah. Okay. Let me see what y'all are talking about. Pretty Gigi said, man, you're good. Thank you. Beyonce said, Anwar, it's embarrassing posting my question multiple times. I'm sorry, girl. What is it? I apologize. Eli said, a man asking to meet up for the first time over coffee is okay. I'm someone who loves a coffee date. And the reason I love a coffee date is because I want to make sure that you actually like the guy, that you can have a conversation with him, that you want to learn more. And when someone is taking you out to some, rolling the red carpet, taking you to a fancy restaurant, oftentimes what will happen is you will become enamored with the date and oftentimes be biased when you're evaluating the dater. So there's not many airs that they can put on when it's just you and them face to face chatting. Yeah? So something to think about and consider. It's not for everyone, right? In my program, it's something that we definitely recommend. Someone asks, why do they pretend to love their partner? A lot of men get married because they want the approval of their male friends. Girl, some things never change. It's like we're in junior high all over again. The research says that if a man's friend group is all married, he is 3 times more likely to get married as well. So part of this is an ego thing. Part of this is like a pecking order thing. Like, you know, a lot of men are focused on like their purpose and, you know, and that means like conquering other men. And the way to do that is to have a wife, have kids, many kids, right? That means I'm more of a man. All of that. So they also sometimes pretend to love their partner because they might not know what true love is. So some of it is ill intent. Some of it is also just capacity. So I just want to offer that as well. Bye Gang said, Anwar, I have locks. How do I attract white men? Dye 'em honey blonde, girl. But the white guys like the locks too. Love Setter said, please give me the tea on dating Indian men, fairy godbrother. I would say they're very spoiled. Very spoiled. Their mothers do everything for them. So it's important to understand that, like, don't do anything for these Indian men. Like, when you're going out with them, they will say things like, oh my gosh, where do you want to go to eat? Okay, like, which one do you want to do? Okay, I don't know. Why don't you figure it out? Give them that so that you can evaluate whether they're a spoiled little boy or if they're an actual Indian man. The other thing that's important is that a lot of these Indian men still live by the caste system, girl. And if they are really from India, it is more prevalent. If they grew up in like the West and in like the US for most of their life, it might be less present in them because they've like been to college and high school, and so they've been around more diverse communities. But if they've just come from India, girl, this, and if they're a little bit lighter, they're gonna think that they're better than you. And they might just try to use you for sex. Don't do it. Juju said, spill that kombucha tea, honey. Bitch, don't you know I motherfucking have it right now, girl? Don't clog my tea, bitch. You don't know me like that. And I had to work on my fitness, girl. I was drinking Gatorades with all that sugar, girl. I had to keep it cute, healthy, honey. Keep that waist snatched. Yeah. Yeah. Pinup said we love you. Thank you, girl. Let me see what else is going on here. It's nothing, I'm fine. Said, what's your take when a man says he's no good with feelings? Move on. Yeah, move on. Girl, no shade. If we wanted to hang out with people that weren't good with feelings, we would still be living at home. No shade. The thing about dating and relationships now is that women have financial independence and agency, and they don't need a man to live. So the value of a man is different, which means he has to come with the emotional capacity, sensitivity component to this relationship so that you can also be supported in your life. I know when a man is relationship ready because he's the biggest cheerleader. And that comes with an emotional quotient or component involved. So, one thing to look out for when you're kind of chatting with these men, if he's not saying, you got this, babe, you can do this, babe, how can I help you, babe? Like, he needs to help you self-actualize. You achieve your goals. Let me see what y'all are talking about. Yvette, thank you so much for the hand heart. Life with Nyla said, no time to play with y'all today. Girl, I'm not playing. I'm not playing any games. No games whatsoever. Honey, I learned a long time ago. I really don't need anybody to love me or like me except for my mama. What's that one song by Destiny's Child? Oh my God, what's the name of it? Anyway, they have a line that says, if my mama loves me and I love myself, right? I mean, like, everything's gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be all right. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because I want you to have a similar mentality. A lot of women out there are so hyper-focused on men liking them. Who cares if they like you? No, like, seriously, who cares? I want to make sure that you love yourself. That's the most important thing. Okay, Shashimo, thank you so much for the rose. Mariana, thank you so much for the fire. Renaissance Woman said, okay. Belle said, my boyfriend thought I was mad at him, so he sent me a blizzard treat on DoorDash. We love that for you. Absolutely love that for you. Chanel said, and more for 2025. Girl, stop. Someone said I dated a black guy who was all pro-black and ended up having a kid with a, I think maybe a white woman. Not surprised. Paige said, why do good men take a long time to say I love you? Good question. It can be a variety of different reasons. Here is kind of what I know. Good guys oftentimes don't have great boundaries, and they don't have great boundaries. They either have very weak boundaries, that's a mother wound, but oftentimes what will happen is that they will overcompensate and start to have rigid boundaries. And so what happens is because good guys get used so much, they're very much not trusting. And a man has to, if he's a good guy, he has to really trust you to say that. Yeah. So it sounds weird, but oftentimes really great guys don't have great boundaries. How long should you wait to give it up, specifically for a dark-skinned man? There's no specific girl. There's no brown paper bag test for giving it up. Sorry about it. Yeah. Did you want me to say because he's a darker skinned man that you should give it up quicker? Girl, stop. My recommendation, do whatever the hell you want with your body, girl. You're a grown-ass woman. What I will say, though, as a dating coach, is that it's very tricky. And I generally recommend waiting until you're in an exclusive relationship. Yeah. Someone said, why are men so willing to have kids with a woman but won't marry her? Great question. Again, lots of different answers here. Men will have kids because the more kids he has, the more man that he feels. He won't marry a woman because he doesn't want to settle down. He doesn't want to settle down. A lot of men don't want to settle down. They also, I'm going to leave it at that. I've already said a lot of really interesting things tonight. Someone said, how can I meet a Korean man? I would say drink boba every day. Go to Korean barbecue. Shop at Uniqlo. Do karaoke on the weekends. Yeah. Let me offer something to ladies. If you're asking why questions, you're asking the wrong questions. You're doing too much. I could give you 50 different answers for a why question. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why men do this or why did they do that. What matters is making sure that you are honoring the what and not the why. Whatever this man decides to do, honor it. Accept it. You don't need a reason. What you need is to accept the reality of whatever has happened. Check in with yourself. Your responsibility is your feelings and your safety. When you're asking, why is he doing this? You've already lost the game, girl. You've already lost yourself. Yeah? Love Setter said, how is dating mixed men? Mixed feelings on that. Okay, let me see what y'all are talking about. Okay, let me see what's going on here. Nikki said, how fast is too fast for him to say I love you? Now, I will tell you this. A lot of Nigerians will tell you that they love you before the first date or shortly after the first date. That doesn't mean that they love you. It means that they like you. Okay? In my experience, I generally tend to get around 3 women into relationships a week. I love you comes oftentimes between months 4 and 9 in an exclusive committed relationship. Now, if you are, let's say, 45, 50 plus, things go probably twice the speed. So that it might come within the first month or two of a relationship. But if he's saying I love you and you aren't in an exclusive relationship, this game, baby. How can he love something that he doesn't even know the majority of? You know, like in high school, there was always that girl that said she just loved everything. Oh my God, I love it. Oh my God, I so love it. I'm so into it. She's just into everything. When guys do that, I need you to understand that he is trying to soften you up. He is trying to play a role, like we were talking about before, play a fantasy so that your guard will be lowered. Set a boundary. Yeah? Nebi said, should I be against struggle love? I don't even know what that is. Like, one of the things that I really am passionate about is empowering women, specifically Black women, to not struggle in life, to not overwhelm themselves, to have boundaries so that if there are things that are happening, they can give it to somebody else and they can deal with it. So the things that I think are important here is when I hear something like this, and thank you so much for asking this question, what I'm hearing is I am going to lower my standards for someone. And oftentimes we will do that because we have what I call love scarcity mindset. We think that this is the best that I can do, even if it's not fully serving me. I would rather have something, even if it's not fully serving me, than nothing at all. Why would you get with somebody that's a 5 and not wait for the 9 or the 10? The dangerous part about that is if you stay with a 5, it will trick your brain into thinking that that's all that you deserve. It will become your upper limit. There's this book by Gay Hendricks called The Big Leap, and they talk about this concept called the upper limit, which happens so often. And I would actually posit that it happens more for Black people or people of color because of just how society is set up. So you will actually have to work double time to make sure that the limits that are put on you, like, you don't even see. Struggle love is hell. Alnisa said, ever thought of being a dating coach for men? When I started, I was a dating coach for everybody. And I worked with men, but I just love Black women. So I just work with people that I love. I do enjoy working with men, though, because I get to really give it to them and they can take it. I'd be like, dude, you're being an asshole. Stop. Salon Nina, bonsoir. So is a man at 50 never had kids and never married a red flag? Hard to tell. Someone said, what does it mean when a guy tells you, I really fucks with you? I really do. I don't even think that's grammatically correct. So it doesn't mean anything. Does he say that to his mother? What? Like, people, sometimes, like, we cannot let these things slide. Like, okay, so one of the things that you have to think about, like, when you are dating is like, would I have a kid with this man? Like, do you want this man saying to your child, I really fucks with you? Never that, girl. Well, maybe for men, some of you, sometimes that. I don't know. Here's what I know. I know that sometimes, like, I'm okay being bitchy if it means I have standards. And sometimes, many of you don't want to be that girl. And there is, because when we do that, there's like this feeling of stepping away from the tribe. Yeah? When I say, oh, I'm not doing that. Right? It's really hard to say, I'm not going to fucks with you. Oh, I can't. Like, I can't, you guys. Sometimes these men, they're... No, but in all seriousness, what happens when... In the Black community, it's very much a community. It's very much a tribe. And so when you say, I'm not really, like, going to deal with hood guys or, you know, sometimes Black guys, it can feel like you are literally leaving the tribe, that you're being banished from the tribe. And that feels like abandonment, and it feels like death. And if that's the case, girl, die. Come back to life as a vampire, girl. I don't care. But we have to let that go. I need us to stop dating the bad boys. If you're a church girl, if you're a school girl, and you are intrigued by a man that says, I fucks with you, please understand that that man, here's what I know. I know that there's an attraction there. And there's an attraction there because y'all are talking shit about some of these questions, but there's actually important information to know about these questions. And this is why I answer them. When we lean into that, there are a couple of things that are happening here. One, these men are dangerous, but it's because you feel unsafe in your life. And you think that they are going to protect you. When in reality, they are scarier and more dangerous than the life that you are leading right now. So your opportunity is finding safety within yourself. Okay? This is important. So that happens. I already talked about the tribal mentality. I also understand and know that if you are a good girl, then you will get with a bad boy because you want to be bad. And he gives you permission to explore that part of yourself. But I'm here just to offer to you that you don't need a man to help you explore the totality of who you are. That's your job. Okay. I hope this is helpful because, yeah. I fucks with you is so wild. Like, I need you to know this. Okay. And thank you all so much on TikTok for like the 59,000 likes. If I've said anything that resonates with you, definitely tap, double tap, triple tap the screen. If you want to work with me, I have a couple of consultation slots left for this week. Definitely book a call, and we'll see if it's a fit. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Spittin' Brick said, my German long-distance boyfriend cried like a baby in the airport and I didn't. I got the ick. Don't get the ick, girl. Be inspired at the fact that he's in touch with his feelings. If any time you apologize when you have emotions, or you are disgusted when someone else has an emotion, it means that you are so disconnected from your own emotions. That it's like all of that is a turnoff. That like you don't even feel like you have permission to engage in anything emotional, which is often the case for many women of color or Black women, right? That's why I do the work that I do specifically for that group. Okay. Okay. Jack said, what is your skincare routine? It looks amazing. Lots of snail mucin, tretinoin, lots of ordinary products. I also give a Paula's Choice twice a week. Gypsy said, thank you, Howard. Welcome. Okay, let me see what's going on here. Katie said, you are lovely. Thank you so much. Chanel said, Anwar, where can I find other race of men in their 40s in Miami? Well, you got Cubans and Haitians and some old white people there. That's it. You're going to have to go to another city, girl. No shade, but the Haitians are tricky to date. The Cubans are not checking for the Black girls. Even though Cuba is really a Black country, only the white Cubans come here for the most part. So then you got the old white men. So girl, go to a different city. Priyanka said Uniqlo is Japanese. But the Koreans, they shop there too. Katrina said, and we're do be knowing it all. You know what? I've done a lot of coaching. I've done a lot of just work and study and all of that. Yeah. Mrs. said, are frat guys bi? No, they're not bi. Most of them aren't that. I will say, though, that during the hazing week, things get interesting. Okay, what are the questions, ladies? Let's get into this. What's going on? First time I say, what is the reason I hold on to bad memories more than the good ones? We as humans have a negativity bias. So this is also one of the things that makes dating so tricky. It's because you could literally have half good things, half bad things happen to you in dating, but you will only remember the bad things. Just like for many of us, we could have 99 people say great things and one person says not so great. We're going to harp on that not so great thing. It's negativity bias. You'll see. Thank you so much for the rose. Appreciate it. Okay. You guys, I'm really excited because tomorrow my mother is coming to visit. Should I have her on live when she's here? She's crazier than I am. Anyone that meets my mom, they're like, oh, I understand where you get it from. We'll see if she's in it, honey, if she wants to. She's moody, just like me. Someone said, Boston, question mark. Do we need an underground railroad out of here? Yes, ma'am. Boston is one of the most racist cities in America. Here's what I will tell you, though. Well, first of all, black families in Boston have a negative net worth. One of the few bigger cities, more well-known cities, that is the case for black people. I will tell you this. Most of my clients in Boston, they don't get with a black guy, like an African American. They get with white, Indian, and rarely African. Someone said, what about Maine? Well, the gag is, recently I had a client who got into an amazing relationship in Vermont. Yeah? But I did a recent video about hair and other things. You got to know that it's all white, and you got to be into white guys, and some of y'all are not. Yeah? So if you're in some of these cities, girl, get your braids done. Let that new growth go out a little bit, girl. If you got big ass glasses, girl, wear those. If you got a septum piercing, wear that. Girl, wear a denim jacket and roll up those sleeves every day. You catch you a white man. Goldilocks said, Anwar, what's the age range of women that you coach? Have you coached women over 50? I would say about 20% of my clients are over 50, maybe over 45. Yeah, but my core is 30 to 50. What's your expected timeline for exclusivity and marriage? Timeline for exclusivity is like 3 months. Marriage, at least engagement, 2 years. So I think y'all think that I am playing games and just talking shit. Like, when I say, girl, if you want that white man, he's very easy to get. Someone said, oh, I just missed it, that their cousin, everything that I said, with somebody. Brown, like my skin, said, I love the way you carry your mouth. It gives wisdom. Gypsy said, I believe you, Anwar. A girl is dope said, yeah, it isn't hard. Easier than black men, to be honest. It really is, girl. This is why I'm always say date everybody and let's just figure out who treats you the best. Oftentimes you will notice that it might be easier. The roster becomes more diverse. It's giving DEI dating. Okay, best city for black women. I'm assuming to date. I'm a big fan of Maryland, Northern Virginia, not DC. I'm fans of Raleigh, North Carolina, the kind of research triangle. Love that. I'm trying to think. And then some of the mid cities are like, I would say, New York and Chicago, suburbs of Chicago. Tia said, no lie, my cousin had a septum piercing and was wifed up, LOL. Nikki said, have you had clients have any success in Denver? They call it Memver. Am I missing something? Yeah, I've had 2 clients recently get into relationships in and around the Denver area. And one of them was a mountain man and the other guy was an IT guy. Angie said, any Anwar dating testimonies in here? I believe in what he's saying, but looking for hope. Not sure if any of my clients are in here. They might be in IG, but not here. But who knows? But go to my website, getyourguycoaching.com. I have a whole page of testimonials. It's possible. Like I was saying before, my recent client just got into a relationship. She lives in New York. Someone said, any successful clients in Louisiana? I just went to a wedding in February for one of my clients that got married in New Orleans. Natasha Brown said, I tend to give off I don't like white folks vibes when that's not the case. I can't seem to relate. Got it. Someone asked, do you find that blue-collar men are better to date than others or no? It really depends. It really depends. But if you're a church girl, I always say those blue-collar men, those are probably your match. Yeah. Someone asked, should I marry someone I'm not attracted to? If the attraction has not grown since you've met this man, you should not. Because at some point you won't even want to kiss him. And, sexuality, sensuality, attraction is an important part of a relationship. If you're wincing every morning and evening when he kisses you good morning and good night, girl, that's no life to live. Miss Hart said, what's your opinion on Samoan men? Well, I will tell you this. It's a very small opinion. Here we match energies. I think that Samoans are a beautiful people with small dinglings. And I found out about this earlier when I was a single girl with a man, and his name was Toa. And he had a Toa. Yeah. And it was not giving. At that point, I would have preferred a pinky. Someone said, wait, so The Rock? Girl, have you ever watched the WNBA, the WWE? Do you see how he feels those little skimpy shorts? He doesn't feel them at all, girl. He looks like a Ken doll. I can't. The Rock is half black though, but that half black was not working. Yes, girl, same with Turkish men. Holly Willis said, what guys do you have big opinions on? The only Deidre said, WWE fan girl. It's so true. Someone said I thought it was tucked. Like a drag queen? You can't move if you tuck into something. Okay. Any man that touches the Caribbean water, I have a big opinion on. Okay. Any, I would say, Netherlands. African men are all over the place. What I've learned is that Nigerian men are either very much packing or very mid. It's one or the other. Same with Ghanaian. Colombians, Brazilians. Yeah, everyone's always asking me, oh, you never really talk about the African guys. Because you rolling the dice, girl. It's not a sure bet. Sometimes it gives, sometimes it does not. Yeah. So, who else do I have a high opinion on? Well, I haven't personally experienced this, but a lot of people say the Russians. A good number of the French give too. Yeah. A lot of people are saying Jamaican. Like I said before, if they touch that Caribbean water, girl, it doubles in size. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't do it. Okay. What dating questions do we have? What does vulnerability look like in dating? Being able to express how you're feeling. What I always tell my clients is like, you have to know how you're feeling at all times and be able to express it to your partner because it's his job to make it all better. Your job's not to tell him about himself. Your job is not to make things better. Your job is to say, I don't feel good, and this is why. And then step back and let him figure it out. Okay? Someone said Asian men, question mark. Do you see how big that question mark is on your screen? That's how big they are. Italians are packing. I feel like Italians are like 20% black, no shade. What time is it? Is it past midnight? Because I feel like I'm starting to go to the other side, honey. Starting to go to the other side. Yeah. Yeah. One of the biggest I've ever seen was Italian as well. Someone said that. Michelle said that. Yeah, me too. Me too. All right. Yes, honey. I'm going left, honey. Interpol said they're plenty white. Not in southern Italy, girl. Me Honesty said, come back from the other side. I'm trying, girl. I'm trying. Okay. What dating questions do you have? Should I date a guy who is a life coach? Hell to the no. Because he's always going to try to life coach you, girl. Miss E said, you just know all about all them dingalings, huh? Well, first of all, girl, I don't know you like that. That very casual tone will not fly with me. But you are 100% correct. That I know. Mimi said, any success with women dating Nigerians? Yes, I do. But it is very tricky. Very. Like, when you're dating a Nigerian, you have to be a private investigator. You will have to look up if he has a whole family in Nigeria. You will have to look up if he works at the place that he says that he works at. You'll need to go over to his house and see if he has other kinds of pictures. Yeah? I'm really not lying, girl. They're cats, girl. They got 9 lives. And you just one of them. What are some big issues you have experienced that are men concerned about in women? Y'all are lots of chatting tonight, honey. The girls are awake, have a lot to say. I'm so mad I can't type enough on here. Okay. I think the question was, what is something that men are concerned about when it comes to women? They don't want to just be used for their money. And one of the things that is really hard for a guy who's dating is like, one of the things that I think is important to understand is that they get rejected 90% of the time. Women get rejected like 26, 30% of the time. So they're actually very secretive of being rejected. Not secretive, excuse me, sensitive. So, something to think about as you're navigating this. Okay, let me see what y'all are talking about. My boyfriend got an STD. My BFF got an STD, but her man is claiming it's from months prior. I'm not feeling right about that. Sorry to hear that. Sarah said, what do you think about Clark's video about dating in your class? Your socioeconomic class. I think I always say that you should date men that make at least 80% of what you make or more. Because if not, they will try to humble you because they'll feel emasculated by you. Now, this advice is for the majority of women out there that maybe are not making more than 6 figures. If you make 6 figures, he has to make 6 figures. Yeah? It's very important. It's a safety issue, actually. So, something to think about and consider, but I agree with that. Just FYI, thank you all so much for the 91,000 likes here on TikTok, and thank you for so many hearts on IG. I appreciate it. If you are interested in learning more about what I do and want to work with me more professionally, because I am not being professional now, definitely go to the link in my bio and book a consultation call. Okay. Someone said, what's the best dating site? I think I would say getting outside. You're the best dating site. Like, if you're outside, whatever you do now, 5x it. So if you talk to one guy every time you're out, talk to 5 of them. In 3 months, you'll have a boyfriend. I'm sure of it. A Sweet Wellness, have you ever set a woman up with a celebrity? So I don't set women up, I just teach them how to date. There have been a number of my clients that have dated celebrities, very famous entrepreneurs, very famous, athletes, things like that. Drea said, boyfriend of 1 month moving for a new job, wants a long distance relationship. How do we continue to build trust? He's Nigerian. You need to go to where he's moved to and make sure he's not living with his new family, no shade. You think I'm playing, girl. I'm not. You build trust by making sure that he's not living with a woman and children. Someone said, Amar, we need a Netflix or Bravo show. I just signed a deal with the production agency, and we're shopping the show around. Hippie Mean said, any Tiang Québécois man. Well, you know, I'm married to a French Canadian man myself. They're very sensitive. They're very open-minded. My man doesn't really complain, but French Canadians complain a lot. Okay. Let me see. What are your thoughts on age gaps? I always say plus 10 years minus 5 years, but if you're older, let's say 50 plus, and you give younger, plus 5 years minus 10 years. Yeah. Trippy Danny said, Anwar, I'm in Phoenix and have been having issues dating when I place boundaries. Keep on placing those boundaries, girl. I just had a client that got into a relationship in the Phoenix area. It is possible. Yeah. Janine said, what about fully disabled veterans? What about them? Nellie Capri said, Anwar, I'm on date 8. Around which date does a guy begin to pull away? Around the 2 to 3 month mark, there is a pull away phase. Now, generally, this will happen for about 3 to 5 days. If it's anything more than that, then he's just running away. That's been my experience. Lori said, so do I have to cook to impress a man? I would never say that a woman needs to cook to impress a man. That's giving audition vibes. And he really needs to audition for you, him and all of these other guys. So one of the things that we work on in my program is making sure that you know how to sit in your queen energy and sit on the throne to gain that sort of attention and nurturing. Yeah. Sarah said, which clients are most marketable in dating? I think your word choice is very interesting. I will say online it's a marketing exercise. Because profiles are not people and people are not profiles, right? I can change the trajectory of people's experiences by the words that I use, by the pictures that I use, by the angles, right? I was just chatting with a client of mine. We changed, and we just started kind of working together more seriously. We changed that primary photo to a black and white one, changed the trajectory. So many more likes, so many more conversations. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you all so much for the 104,000 likes here on TikTok. And thank you all for the 200 plus people on IG. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the support. I remember when I had 30 people that I was talking to on these things a few years ago. So love all the support. Really do appreciate it. A black and white photo will get you about 106% more likes or clicks. Library Mouse Nini said, I'm a black only daughter. Who should I date? Only daughters, oftentimes you want to date I believe that person is is supposed to date the youngest. But I'd have to read up on it again. Lauren said, love these lives and videos because some women don't get these insights. 100%. 100%. This is why I do what I do. And this is just a sliver. Like, this is 5% of what my ladies in my program get. So if you love this, you'll be in love in the program. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting tired. I need to go to bed. We just got some dogs for my twins for their birthday. And girl, it's like, potty training them is like a feat. So I gotta wake up early tomorrow to make sure they don't pee-pee in this house, girl. But thank you so much for being here. I hope that this was a helpful session for you and that you learned something and you also had fun, because dating can be fun. It doesn't have to be shameful. Okay? So, with that said, please have a great hump day. Do some humping. And I will see y'all on Friday. Book a consultation. Also, check out my podcast called the Get Your Guy Coaching Podcast. If you like this, you'll love the podcast. Alrighty? Bye-bye.